Hi, welcome to Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 137 coming at you. That's a lot of episodes. We're rolling. Obviously, Detroit Lions talk. We have a win and a loss to discuss and the future. Lots of other NFL news happening. And we do need to talk about the hottest team in baseball, the Detroit Tigers.
Yep. Let's get on with the episode. Lots to talk about.
Okay.
I have an important thing. Sorry.
You go ahead.
So, last episode, at the beginning, you talked a little bit, maybe the episode before, you talked a little bit about your understanding of some terms that not even my age group uses, below me. Like, my younger cousins use it.
Like alpha.
Yeah. So I just, one more time, the people want to know, can you just define, I'm just going to say a word or phrase and just define it, use it in a sentence, however you'd like to.
This is off-brand for us.
Okay, define aura.
Aura is when you have like a magnetism about you. You just exude coolness and energy, and I'm him.
Okay, that's good. Or her, if in
or
the
her,
case.
sure.
Define riz.
You're cool.
Okay. Now this is the big one. Define. Do you know who the Costco guys are?
The Costco guys? I do not.
You don't know who the Rizzler, Big Justice?
Nope.
No. Okay. Define skibbity toilet.
Yeah, you've told me about it. I still don't really get it. It's just dumb, but cool.
Just use it in a sentence or define it, please. You can ask the language of origin.
Listen, language of origin.
English.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
You are using it in a sentence.
Oh, I have to use it in a sentence.
Yeah.
Yesterday at St. Clair College, I was a skippity toilet in the class.
So again, I don't know how to use it. I don't think that's right.
I don't understand at all. Like I tried to look it up after you talked to me about it.
We'll ask our young,
doesn't make any sense.
Our children, my children cousins.
Like we got to bring Theo on the show probably.
He could actually define it.
Big T on the show.
I could
12, right?
I could FaceTime him on his iPad right now, but I'm not going to. That's too sidetracked. Let's get back on. I just had a little side quest for us.
Okay.
That's all.
Fair enough. Woj is retiring from ESPN, and I would officially like to start the recruitment and nomination process for Isaac to take Woj's spot with no fraud and no underhandedness.
Okay.
Do you accept the nomination?
As long, sure. Yeah.
Okay. We're looking for one of our fans to be the seconder. Then I'm going to call for a vote, and then it'll start.
Okay. Yeah, sure, buddy.
I think Coach Rob should second.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really want to talk about the Woj thing because I have a super hot take on that, and people don't even care or know. So moving on.
No, talk about it. Miami thing. Yeah.
Okay. Woj has been a mouthpiece for GMs for a long time, especially when it became big. So by that I mean
some with real information, some with fake information, some with silly rumors.
Owners were in his pockets. A lot of top dogs, including the Portland owner, and it's out there. You can look. You just kind of got to read between the lines a bit. He wrote, I think, a biography about the Portland owner's life, something along those lines. Maybe his family, maybe just the owner itself. So this whole Dane thing. Portland owner was feeding all these headlines to Woj, so Woj would pump it out basically to prevent Dame from going to Miami. Because that's what Dame wanted and that's what Miami wanted. And the Portland owner, despite those two individuals, those groups, didn't.
Why did he not want that? Just because he's
because that's what Dame wanted.
Billionaire dick and he didn't want to...
And it kind of sets the precedent, like, oh, if you give a list of one team, you can go to that team. And again, I don't like that precedent. That's kind of being set in the NBA. But regardless, Woj has just been kind of like a fraud. He's gotten some things wrong, respectfully. But there's this thing. Look it up. I won't go into it anymore, but like it's real. I'm not a Woj guy. I'm a Shams guy.
Okay, so it can be Shams and Isaac.
Yeah, Shefty I like.
Shams and Shoots.
Rappaport I like.
Yep.
Just not a Woj guy. He's kind of a fraud. Just look it up. That's all.
Going to St. Bonaventure. Anyway, we mentioned Coach Rob real quick. We're always looking for topics. Coach Rob gave us a mint topic. We just haven't discussed it yet.
No one's used mint like that since Nom, by the way.
No, 80s, for sure. Sure.
So just after Nom.
I have a question. Okay. Why does anybody like IndyCar racing?
Yeah, I saw you wrote that down. Why are we talking about this?
Just because, like, I don't know, I saw some internet stuff about it. Who cares?
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
I celebrate those who like
sports.
I just want to watch Cars, like the movie Cars. It's a really good movie, actually.
Yep, Mater. Mater rocks.
Yep, Tom Mater. Go ahead. What else?
Mater. Shohei, 48 and 48.
Hey, he's great. 50-50.
Amazing. Like, a freak show, and I hope he pitches in the playoffs. Right? Coming to the bullpen, you hear that rumor?
I read that.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going. What else?
Good job, Ethan, on your Iron Man. We're proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, good job, Bao. Bao's my guy. Watched the last episode. Great guest. Great guy. Great job, Ethan Bauer.
Okay, other than Wizardy Toilet, you got anything else to talk about off the top?
No, not Wiz Toilet. Wiz is our own guy. Skibbity Toilet, but we're not talking about that.
Toilet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just ready to talk about football.
Okay.
So the Lions, you can kick things off. Let's try to be positive.
Sure, we need to talk about week 1. Huge win against the Rams. The Rams are a tough team, and Matt Stafford doesn't get enough credit. He kept the Rams in that game. Super tough, got hit a lot. They lost a lot of guys, and obviously Lions decided, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to step on their neck and win the game. So the big win in overtime, huge, nice. Let's just talk about our experience. We got standing room only seats, and then Isaac and Braden got a whole row. So it was like 9 of us in a row in lower bowl, and it was great. And it was atmosphere was fun. Not playoff atmosphere. That's a whole other level. But in terms of a regular season game, like you hear the announcers like, man, it's loud in here.
Yeah, it was very loud in there. Do you want to talk about the game or experience or what?
I think we want to talk a little bit about the experience.
Okay, so I just wrote down face paint mania.
Yeah, we needed to have some aura.
Yeah, to give us more aura, good call. Wiz and Bao came with a bunch of face paint. So we kind of all did some face paint, some Hutch stuff, some beard, face paint.
The beard was a little weird, but it was cool.
Thank you. Aura worked.
Yeah.
Just like good face paint, which is kind of was something we haven't really done. Face paint on the game, for the game. Could be the move. It worked out.
It's a good move.
Let's see. It was a very tense game. Like you said, the place was loud. It was not playoff loud. I didn't expect it to be. But it's like the announcers and I run back and watch the game like, oh, that's louder than other games.
Agreed.
So I think it was still a great atmosphere other than like, some odd drunk folk or lost Rams fans. What else do you have on that?
Listen, this show is built on positivity and a little bit of trash talk. Goff was not very good in the first game.
So we're doing the Goff piece now?
We might as well.
Okay. I just wrote down he played fine. Not a great game by any stretch.
Okay.
And I kind of want to leave it at that for game 1. Let's be positive. Let's talk about Dave Montgomery.
Montgomery and J-Mo.
Okay. So those actually... Now this is a bigger thing. So they're 1-1 right now. I have 3 big takeaways.
Okay.
Positive takeaways. I wrote down 3 positives.
Yep.
J-Mo's a legit guy now.
He's going to be one of the top WR2s in the league, right? Like you could debate Debo and Ayuk because both of those guys are a little bit better than J-Mo. Maybe in Philadelphia with Smith and Brown.
Yeah.
Although lots of injuries, so he's the best number 2 probably.
So just J-Mo's a guy. He's going to be the man.
Fun to watch, and he some good blocks. He missed a couple blocks.
Oh, he's a great blocker.
Game,
he's a very good blocker, and he's kind of talked a lot about that. He just likes hitting people. So that's 1. J-Mo's a guy. That's a great positive from 2 games.
Good take.
Another positive. Monty still has his fastball. By that
he does. Yep.
Dave Montgomery, he's still ram it down your throat.
Yep. Still 96 with movement.
And
not 100. That's he's never had that.
Yeah, enough baseball analogy here. I just did a quick one. Just one. I was afraid Monty would lose a step. I think it's fair. Your
prediction was he's going to be good this year, and then next year you think he slides a bit?
I assume he takes a step back. He did not take a step back. So maybe in week 14, 15, 16 down the stretch we see it, but I think you could even ease him into those games depending on playoff situation. So that's a big positive that I noticed. I just wrote down he was a man possessed in that first game. There was overtime, and he said, I'm just going to win overtime by myself. And that's what he did with the offensive line. Shout out David in the offensive line. Love those fellas.
Yep.
My last positive is the defense is better. The defense is definitely improved.
The defense is better, yes.
And I think at all 3 levels. I think the pass rush is definitely better. We're going to talk about Hutch game 2. Hutch is better than he was last year.
Yep.
I think linebacker core is better. And I think your defensive backs are better. There's been some issues with the defensive backs, yes. Remember last year, fellas, guys, remember what was happening in the playoffs against San Francisco? Remember that this is a completely new secondary.
Yeah, this is the week where we stop the streak of 100-yard games by a wide receiver. Marvin Harrison's real good. Lions are going to step up.
Okay, we're going to
play tough.
No. We're just focused on the Rams right now.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about Arizona.
Okay.
Who scares me. But we're going to talk about, do you have anything else for week 1? Sunday Night Football.
No.
We talked about staff. We talked about Goff. Hutch getting held every play. I just wrote down it's really hard to miss.
Weak sauce.
In person, sometimes on TV, you can be looking at the ball, you can look elsewhere. It was when you're in person and Hutch is the closest player and you see it, it's bad.
Oh, I've got a Hutch take after when we talk about the Bucs game.
Okay, that's all I got. Actually, I did write this down. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble or get us in trouble. I just wrote down teams will get hurt playing the Lions.
Yes.
That's just a fact.
Yeah. Did I write that down? You probably stole it from me.
I didn't steal it, buddy.
Probably
Look around.
did.
The teams that play the Lions, they're just going to get beat up. The Lions play very physical, not dirty, very physical. Shout out Kirby Joseph, my guy. Teams are just going to get hurt. And you're going to see it, and injuries are going to pop up the day after
They're
teams
a
play the Lions.
tough physical team. They finish their blocks. They tackle hard.
So that was pretty positive. Good win. I'll let you start with week 2.
Listen, there's a loss. Like, we're not going to overreact to it. I overreact a little bit on Sunday just because I get pretty invested in the game. We're going to talk about a couple of reasons why they lost.
You overreact short term, and I overreact long term. It's kind of, I think, you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
So, for example, like, the Lions will have to punt, and you'll, like, make a bunch of loud noises and grunt.
Yeah.
And I'll just be quiet and be like, the season's over. To myself. Like, it's over.
And you'll
just
say
stop
that
me.
for the next 2 or 3 days. And then you realize, well, nobody else is really good other than...
So imagine how we are for a 162-game baseball season.
Yeah, like KC is the only team in the NFL that I'm like, I don't want to play them.
Oh, buddy, I'll take KC. Old man Travis. But that's actually a different take. Keep going with game team. I'm sorry. I got excited.
So the bad clock management thing, listen, they made it to the red zone 7 times. They got 1 touchdown. Yeah, the end of the first half, that was a little bit disappointing. It happens. They had a bad game. Goff played poorly. The first interception, not his fault. They pretty much... I can't say rape, can I?
Okay, buddy.
No. They did harm to J-Mo when he was just like making his cut. He would have been their assault. Yeah,
Physical.
Yeah. So that was not Goff's fault. The second interception was terrible, and he missed a bunch of other plays.
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
You're already on a roll. You've already got us banned.
I'm rolling. Okay, so Goff, bad clock management. I would like to see a couple more guys on defense make some plays. I worry about, obviously, the defensive line injuries and defensive line depth. We'll circle back to Hutch in a minute, but like Reader's got to be healthy, Davenport's got to be healthy, because they really don't have somebody else who can rush the passer from nails. Like Derek Barnes a little bit.
Yeah, Derek Barnes they do use as a pass rusher more than kind of what he was supposed to be coming out of Purdue, I think.
Well, I think like Houston, they're really pissed off at him. Like he's not really doing much.
I don't totally get the James Houston piece.
Neither do I.
But that's fine.
Sometimes the lockdown lines they talk about it's a little bit weird. Davenport and Reader need to get healthy. And realistically, we recognize this September, we're going to overact, but just a little bit. We need these guys healthy. Games to us matter in December and January. September and October games, sure, every game matters, but not as crazy as it used to before. You want to talk about Hutch now?
Yeah, I have a whole... We can do the positive bit with Hutch.
Yeah, why don't you talk about some of the negative things?
I just wrote down...
Get that out of the way.
Okay, I wrote down perfect storm. It was a perfect storm of why they lost. So I'll just go rip through some of the reasons, and if you want to stop and elaborate, feel free, okay? Mm-hmm. I just wrote down Goff sucked.
Yeah.
Do we have to elaborate?
No, poop.
Okay.
P-store, poop,
Play calling was pretty strange. 55 pass attempts for Goff.
Yeah.
That's wrong. It should never be like that.
He should maybe be thrown it 50 times in a double overtime game against KC.
Okay. Red zone inefficiencies. I think they are 1 for 7. I don't have it written down. I think it was 1 for 7 touchdowns.
Well, I said that about 3 minutes ago. So,
buddy, sorry, that's on me. Long day. Poor time management by Dan. You talked about. I listened to that. Baker played excellent. Follow up: is Baker actually good?
I kept thinking last year was a fluke, and I keep thinking this year's a fluke. He's not top 10, but is he 15 or 16 or 17? I think he is.
That leads me to a bigger conversation that we'll talk about later with the NFL. That we'll bring up in half hour or so. We'll get there. Okay. Maybe less. Secondary did not want to cover Godwin. It's improved, but forgot to cover Chris Godwin. Monty couldn't get it going. He was fine. I think Tampa front seven is good.
They played well. I don't understand how they couldn't run, especially after Vita Vea gets injured. Can you explain that to me at all?
Well, they didn't really run inside the guards that much, regardless. And they didn't seem to adjust when Vea left, which I didn't love. Because you just think logically.
That's not a good pivot.
You think, okay, Vea leaves. Okay, you're running behind right now. And
Dikembe Mutombo gets in foul trouble. What are you going to do? You're going to take it to the hole.
Yeah, that is a good... Yeah, just in terms of basketball stuff. Where it's like right now where you see like a guy gets fifth foul and he's still in the game. It's like you go at him right now.
Yep.
Until they have to adjust.
There's
and
enough people that are watching the game, that are calling in, that are sitting on the sidelines. They're like, dude, what are we doing?
Laporta, Invisible Man, didn't love it. You just got to get more involved. And I think this branches off the red zone thing.
Well, and this ties into a bit of a trend in the NFL right now. A lot of these tight ends are hardly doing anything. Kelsey's
washed, that's why.
Yeah.
actually.
No, and I'm not even going to make a
Buddy, nope.
one of those comments. But like Mark Andrews, who's a great tight end,
He's been washed for 2 years.
nothing there. Kittle hasn't done very much.
Also washed, but
So,
I see your point.
but
do we talk about the refs? I don't want to do a ref thing, but the refs didn't help. I wrote down.
refs did not help.
Yeah.
They have a tough job. They didn't help us last week.
So that's I guess like 8 reasons, 10 reasons there. That's why the Lions lost. That's why they scored 16 points. That's why they didn't win.
Happens.
Branch off that. Games where you execute a 4th and 12 fake punt deep in your own territory are games you have to win.
Yes. And they executed another 4th down on that drive and still had to punt.
Yeah. Games where you're 7.5 home favorite. 7.5 point
You
favorite.
got to win that.
You're a home favorite.
Like, I think there might have been one game last week that had a bigger spread than that. I don't recall what it was, but...
If I zoned out and think I could get it, but
Okay.
I can't zone out. We have to talk.
Yeah.
Games where your star edge rusher has 4.5 sacks. You got to win those games. Let's talk about the Hutch legacy. Talk
Okay,
about it.
so Hutch has been there for the last season. Rookie year, he certainly had an impact, got lots of pressures. Last year, he had lots of... he had more sacks. He had more of an impact. People started to talk about it more. Last week, week 1, he got held a lot. And I think they recognized, oh boy, this guy is a problem. And they just couldn't seem to figure out how to manage it. I don't know if they couldn't have the running back block him and he was in and out injury, but he was all over the place and he did a great job wrapping up Baker. Here's the thing. Now everybody knows. All the refs know about Hutch. So I don't think he's going to get 18 or 20 sacks. That's silly. But he's going to end up with 14 or 15. He's going to get a whole lot more holding penalties. They're going to have to shift a guard over to him, a tight end over to him. That is going to be a significant impact, the 4.5 sacks, on many games down the rest of the year.
Well done. I agree. It's good stuff.
It's a good take. Thanks.
This is football. You're going to lose some games you should win, and this was a game they should have won. And
Dallas lost by 32.
They're frauds.
The Saints.
We're not talking about that poverty.
Neither of them are terribly good, but still, they were a big favorite.
So I have lots of concerns. I'll be honest. My biggest one is Goff.
Yes.
And I'm going to be careful with what I say here because Goff's my guy. He's our guy. He's our quarterback. We love him. I don't even know if I want to say what, like...
Listen, he went through a little stretch last year where he was pooping his pants for about 3 weeks. Just get that out of the way now. Fine. And then go back to clean diapers and you'll have a good season.
So this team has a ceiling, and we don't know what it is yet. I think I know what it is, but I also think I know what...
Super Bowl.
I know, but I think I know what would prevent us from reaching said ceiling. And I think that's our quarterback, respectfully. And I hate saying this because I want to be positive, and Goff's my guy.
Take aside the injury thing because that's very relevant in the NFL.
Yeah.
Who is going to play up or play down? That's going to affect us a great deal. Like J-Mo playing up, that was a huge factor, one of the X factors. Obviously, our new DBs still got some work to do. But listen, Arnold's played about an hour in the NFL. He's going to get better. He's making plays, and guys are talking to him. They know he's going to be a guy. He'll improve. He's going to get better. Goff can't be poop Rams Goff. He's got to be a top 8 or 10 or 12 quarterback in the league. Make the plays that are there, hand it off to Montgomery, hand it off to Gibbs.
And last week was not all on him. He was one of the factors, one of the many factors. I feel like he might limit this team's ceiling, and I hate saying that. And I hope I'm proven wrong. It's just, if the first read's not open, or the pocket collapses, bad things happen.
Yeah.
And we just got to prevent those from happening.
To start to run, our first instinct is throw it out of bounds.
Yeah. He had one nice rush that was like, oh, there's 7 yards. He can do that once a game.
He can run, just not great.
So let's end it with a positive thing here. Do you have something positive to say?
The Lions have one of the best rosters in the NFL. They have one of the best coaching staffs in the NFL. It's going to happen. Don't jump off the bandwagon.
No, do.
We still... No, we need you. We still need to have the best
we need you.
Home crowd in the league. When people come to Detroit, they're going to say, man, I don't want to go to Detroit. Sorry, I'm a little loud.
No, it's just too much. That's all.
A little much. Happens sometimes.
Lions just got to go. You talk about Arizona.
My amygdala doesn't always monitor things properly.
Arizona scares me. But every team scares me.
I don't want to, Kyler Murray runs around. He's going to be very difficult to catch. I won't say anything bad about Kyler Murray. I don't know how he gets to work, though.
Okay.
Just one of those tiny little cars.
He likes to make lots of short jokes for Kyler. So do we have anything else on lines? I think we did a good bit on that.
I think we did a good bit. We're on 19 minutes. I
think
we
are.
Talk about some other NFL
Say
news.
this now. Okay. Go talk about the NFL.
So the obvious one is Tua. Sorry, Ken Stewart. Does Tua retire? I missed it. So you had, I had gone to bed, shocker. And then you texted me and said, Tua, concussion again, the bad things happened to him. Okay. So
thank you for censoring. I think I said something much worse.
You said something worse, but I'm just paraphrasing so that way we still keep our G rating. That's important for the kids. Does Tua retire, right? Like, I haven't really had the opportunity to talk to Ken, who's a huge Dolphins fan, about it, but I think he should.
Okay, so this is a big issue.
What does he need?
This is a big thing. This is a big topic.
It's a huge topic.
So I wrote this down. So that what should he do? It's so hard. So like outsider looking in, yeah, you should retire. Yeah, definitely. You should be with his family. You should retire.
He's 25, maybe?
I'm not. Yeah, around there. But again, like he's 25. Since he was for the last 21 years, 20 years,
he's been the man.
This has been his goal to be an NFL quarterback and to be the man on an offense, and that's what he is. So to say, hey, for an external factor, for something that you can't control, you have to sit down and retire forever. How are you going to tell him that? How, like, if he's wired where it's like that's impossible? No, 21 years I've been trying to be the guy.
So did you hear Nate Burleson's comments from Javid Best?
No.
Did you write about? So Javid Best was a running back for the Lions, and he was a scary good guy. Very similar to Gibbs in terms of shiftiness, super fast. He was the guy that other teams worried about. He just had concussion problems in and around the league, and basically Burleson and Best were texting back and forth, and Best pretty much said, he's got to retire. What does he need to do? What does he need to prove? Doesn't need to prove anything. He's got to live a long life with a family. I get that
perspective.
Yeah, but you got to take the fire out of him and say, okay, it's gone. There's no competitive sports for you.
Most of these guys
you better decide to be a tennis player or something like that.
Most of these guys are wired and they're ultra, like 0.001 percentile in terms of athlete, but in terms of being a competitor.
100%.
And he, I think, has that.
No,
he's not super psycho like some of the other guys. Like I think Ant is a psycho competitor. I think Jimmy, like those are a couple guys. Tom Brady. Those are the outliers.
Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, those guys.
Psycho competitors. I think Tua is a competitor. And to tell him, hey, put the cleats down, you're done, because of something you can't control. It's not like he's underperforming, and that's why he's retiring.
The only person who's going to make that decision is Tua and his family.
Yeah, so
what the fans say, what his teammates say.
Like if I'm his boy and he texts me, he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? What should I do?" As his boy, how am I gonna say, "No, you got to stop playing"? I don't understand. So I see both sides. It's incredibly difficult.
It depends, because if he has a group that will tell him the truth, they'll say you got to retire. But I think most of these guys, NFL players and like professional athletes, don't surround themselves by people who challenge them intellectually and disagree with them.
What I want, I don't want him to retire because I really like rooting for him.
It's a good jacket you got on.
Well, but if he retires, I just want to see him on NFL Network every morning. Like
yes, that's what I want.
I would love, and I don't want it to be the Tua show, like how it's the Kelsey show or anything, or the Tom Brady show. I just want Tua to just be a guy there in a nice blazer.
Terry Bradshaw can retire.
Old man Terry's done.
And Tua can take his spot.
So yeah, it's a really great take. Let's not.
I didn't write that one down. That's a good take.
So we're rooting for you. We're rooting for you, Tua. We'll leave it at that. Next topic. Maybe a nicer one.
A nicer one?
Yeah.
I didn't write down a lot of nice ones.
Okay, I got a nice one.
Okay.
Sam Darnold revenge season. I told you
that's
guys.
a good one. Yep.
Let's go. Everyone said no, I'm crazy. Sam Darnold legacy. He's out for you guys. I told you. And look, are the Vikings legit? No. Is he 2-0? Yeah, that's my guy. Shout out Sammy D.
What about David Carr?
Yeah, the Saints. That's a great one.
The body snatchers came in and they've put a really good quarterback in there. How long he stays there remains to be seen. But right now he is Joe Montana.
So that whole division is kind of all over the place. The Saints might win it. The Bucs might win it. I don't think the Falcons will win it, even though they're I think still the favorite on a lot of sites. Derek Carr is reborn. Alvin Kamara looks like 4 years ago.
Cousins might have left his knee in Minnesota.
Achilles is gone. That's shredded.
Yeah.
I don't know who wins that division. I kind of lean Saints. They look so fun and so good. But again, I don't know if that's real. But that's a really interesting division. I'll say Bucs. I'll say the Bucs win the division. I think they're good. They're good enough to win. But the Saints keep scoring 40 points. Who's going to stop that? Nobody.
Yeah, it's true.
So what do you have?
Bunch of 2-0 teams that I don't think are as good as their record. Pittsburgh, they won because of Tomlin and because of defense and because they played some poop teams. Minnesota, again, you think they're legit?
No, I don't think that. Come on, buddy. No, they're not legit.
So what are they, 7 wins?
They might. I'd have to look at their schedule. I would assume they're 8 wins.
Okay. Saints? Not legit?
Well, they can
They're
even
legit in their division.
The Saints could even win 9 games and win that division.
Okay,
right?
Bucs, same deal. What about Seattle?
I'm in on Seattle. I have been in on Seattle.
I know you've always liked Seattle, but
by in on Seattle, I mean
Geno is less of a quarterback, but he's got great guys to throw to. And
Okay, Gino was awesome last week. Gino was dotting the Patriots up.
I know he was, but I don't think he still has it.
You threw a lot at me. Like, am I in on Seattle? Over 7.5 wins. I took the over. Coach Rob was like, that's a tough schedule. I told him, let's go, Seattle. Let's rip.
Okay.
So I think but that whole division, that whole Seattle-Arizona division.
So what's the deal with Love? Is he out like a week? Is he coming back?
I don't want to talk. That's stupid. I hate that prop. I'm not talking about that garbage.
Well, can we talk about how their center puked on the ball twice in a row?
I don't even want to talk about that either.
That was a little bit funny.
I don't want to talk about the Packers. Okay, I'll do a nice one. So we talked about... All right.
Will Levis?
Yeah, I talked... Okay, I have a thing on this. You want to talk about Levis specifically, and then I'll jump in. Go ahead. Oof.
I don't understand. Like, again, you talked about wiring a couple minutes ago with just you're wired to win, to be a competitor. In Levis's mind, as he's going down, he says, I got to make a play. He hasn't really done that. Like, his coaches, his teammates are pissed off at him.
Okay,
What's the deal?
Okay, I'll jump in here then. So you've got bad QB play, terrible QB play in the NFL. And this is what I was getting at earlier. There's probably 10 guys in the NFL that are starting quarterbacks that I think suck. And I'll name some of them. I think Levis sucks. I think Nick sucks. Willis sucks.
Sorry,
Skyler.
Nick?
Nick's, buddy.
Oh, Nick's. Oh, yeah, he's poop.
Skyler. Jones. Which Jones would I be referencing when I wrote down Jones? Is there a Jones quarterback?
Mac Jones? He's
No.
not quarterback
I wrote
anymore.
down Jones. I'm sure I meant something better. Watson sucks. Brissett
sucks.
sucks. I think Fields is garbage. So you've got all these guys that are just terrible quarterbacks.
And we haven't really got to a lot of injuries, so these are the starters. Last year, at this point in the year, there was probably 10 backups playing by November 15th.
So out of all the teams in the NFL, about a third of them I think have an awful quarterback. And then maybe another third and a bit have an okay, fine quarterback.
And Goff probably fits into that category.
He's in that tier. And then you've got like 8 guys that I'm like, yeah, you're legit. Yep. Maybe less. So just bad QB play. I don't know what that is, but that's kind of the issue. Maybe it's rushing guys.
Jacksonville. What's the deal with Jacksonville?
Yeah, they're super fraudulent. I don't really like fraudulent poverty. I don't really get it. There's some buzz around them in the offseason.
Lots of buzz.
I kind of bought into some of it. I think a lot of it is coaching, is what it seems like. Everyone's kind of anti Doug Peterson, but
Yeah.
I don't think we've got a lot of Jacksonville fans here.
Listen, there's 3 teams that I don't want to play until I play them in the Super Bowl. Luckily, all those guys are in the AFC. KC, Buffalo, and Houston.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I know Buffalo doesn't have a lot of guys to throw to, but I don't want to play Allen. He scares me.
That's fair. Let's talk about
Uncle Phil.
Let's talk about the Bears here. I'm pleased to see that they don't look great.
They look terrible.
So Caleb in preseason was awesome. Like lit up in preseason. And I was like,
Shows you how fraudulent preseason is.
yeah, I was kind of a little scared. And I'm like, I think it might be better than I
You should go back
initially.
a couple shows because I was trashing on Caleb and I was correct.
Okay, buddy. And look, Caleb's underperformed for sure. Are they still going to figure it out? Yeah, I think.
And
Caleb's
they can't
gonna be
run the
okay.
ball. You know why they can't run the ball? Because their best running back now is the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and again, an awful quarterback.
Fields.
Pittsburgh poverty. So let's talk about Bryce Young.
Oof.
Now this one's a little sad.
I like Bryce Young. I feel bad for him. Like me and LeBron actually have the same take.
What did LeBron say?
He just said it's not on him. It's on the team. It's on the ownership. It's on the general manager not giving you a chance.
I just wrote down,
He's been awful.
it's a franchise killer. This is a franchise killer.
This trade?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
And
it sets him
benching
back
him.
5 years.
No, the trade more. This is a
I
sell
did
the
hear
team.
the reason they benched him so early is to give him 2 or 3 weeks to kind of get his head together so they can bring him back. Because if they start 0-6 and they don't bench him until then there's really not enough time to come back.
I read that take. It's a lose-lose. This is a franchise killer. The trade's a franchise killer. Benching him after 2 weeks for Andy Dalton is a franchise killer. This is sell the team stuff. I cannot overreact more to this. That's what I wrote down. I don't think people realize how catastrophic this is. Like, if you're a Panther fan,
They were down 20 points in each of their first 2 games within about 7 minutes.
and it looks terrible. It looks like it's terrible. It's bad. And I hope he's okay.
Did I really read that Cam Newton is coming back?
Buddy, that's so... I didn't read that. I'm sure that's fake.
He's so... Sorry, Clay. He's so washed.
Cam Newton for the past 8 years has been doing the same routine on podcasts and dumb hats. I don't want to get into
Do
that.
I say a Kaepernick thing now, or would that be inappropriate?
No, that's actually inappropriate,
Okay.
for real.
All right.
Let's talk about... We can talk about the Cardinals a bit. They were scary. I thought they were going to be fun. And I think Kyler might be the most entertaining quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, he's Sandlot.
Who's more entertaining? You can say maybe Mahomes,
Mahomes probably more entertaining. McCaffrey, if he's healthy, obviously.
He's not a quarterback, but that's fine.
Okay, but he's still an entertaining player.
Didn't I say quarterback?
You might have said quarterback. Allen.
Lamar when he's running,
Yeah.
not when he's throwing. Allen, yes, because Allen's
By the
just
way,
like a bowling ball.
we can say comfortably he's in the top 5 of entertaining players.
I'd say Richardson, but he's can't really throw sometimes.
Like
There's a
he
lot of
makes the
entertaining guys.
unbelievably falling backwards throws, but can't make a 12-yard out.
So we were really low on both the Cowboys and the Eagles, and that was a mix of like actually being low on them, and also
We just hate them.
we hate them, and
Yeah.
we think the Lions are
We
better.
don't hate a lot, but Philly and Dallas we hate.
Philly and Dallas, yeah, and Green Bay. You can add to that.
No,
tier.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Chicago, I don't hate them because they're kind of poverty. Sorry.
Actually, poverty, respectfully.
They're poop.
Okay, so we want to talk about the Eagles. So the Eagles, Cowboys, they kind of suck. That's nice. One of them is going to have to win that division. The Chiefs got bailed out again. It was actually the right call. It's just easy to say that.
Oh,
'cause-
and the DB 7th round guy who did he only played about 3 plays that game. So bad.
yeah. The Chiefs, like, it was actually PI. Sorry, people hate the
was
Chiefs.
PI.
It was PI.
But
RIP.
why only rushing 3 guys?
That's a different conversation. RIP Pacheco, I wrote down.
Ooh, so
That's my guy. I hope he's
RIP,
okay.
like so many guys. CMC, Debo, Love, Tua, Kupp,
can't say
Justin Jefferson, so many guys.
I shouldn't have said RIP. I'm sorry. Is there anything else on football? I think we covered a fair amount.
Oh, hey, we like football. Football's back.
Yeah, football's actually
And
back.
obviously our fan base really likes football, so we get more viewers.
I wrote down Old Man James Conner's 58, but keeps going. Our printer is fraudulent, so I'm using my phone. That's why. If I'm not disengaged, I'm just using my phone. Sam Darnold, you talked about. Is there anything else you want to say? Or are we done with football?
I love the NFL.
Yeah, football's back. We're back. We're not going to talk about Michigan, but the Lions, we're back.
Skip that.
Okay, Skibbity. I'll just talk about the Tigers for a bit.
Okay. Since 2016, we have said meaningful games in September. We now have meaningful games in September.
Let's turn it
like
down.
they just win games they shouldn't. Like they only had one good starting pitcher and one rookie who was probably not even the top 15 of Tiger prospects that they brought up. What's his name again?
Which one are you referencing?
The rookie.
Jace Young?
No.
Trey Sweeney?
A starting pitcher. Not Montero.
Kyler Montero?
Yeah. So he's been pretty good. But for about 2 months, that's all they had. And they put things together. I give AJ Hinch a lot of credit. What's their pitching coach? Fetters?
Chris Fetter.
He's awesome. Like Parker's catch last night, that was unbelievable. You thought I was asleep. I was upstairs watching it.
Did you hear me yelp?
Yeah, but I was also yelping. Daniela
Yeah.
maybe yelled at me a little bit. He just makes magic happen. He's a great athlete. I don't think the fans are jumping on the bandwagon as much as they should be.
Oh, in my group chats, there's been some more Tiger buzz. I'm just gonna put out there. Dom Campana, he's a baseball fan now. He's watched a couple games.
Nice.
So
Obviously, Ethan and Wiz are like now huge fans.
yeah, about this like baseball. That's why I don't even want to talk. I'm hesitant to talk with Tigers because not a lot of people care. I get that. Kids my age, very few people watch baseball.
Now, I think part of that is because baseball is, in a lot of ways, it's boring. It's not the same action as the other sports.
Okay, now I think it's fun.
But it's fun going to the ballpark. It's fun when your team tries hard. Listen, they're entertaining.
Yeah, so again, hesitant to talk with Tigers, but we're sniffing the playoffs. We're sniffing it.
Yep.
So we kind of have to at this point.
Sorry, 28% chance as of prior to Scooby's pitch on Wednesday night. We're recording Wednesday night.
Again, we don't need to tell every time you say we're recording on X
Well,
night
fans,
at Y
like
time.
if Scooby does something really great tonight,
Buddy, 4 people are gonna watch. 4 people are gonna be affected by the Scooby start, and we're 2 of them. So let's talk about
over.
Okay, Baseball Reference has them at 31% chance,
Ooh.
and they're always
You
been
told me this morning 28%.
that was the stat last night. Baseball
Okay.
Reference is 31. I
Nice.
checked during class. It's a fact.
Did Tom check during class?
7 straight losing seasons after being like a perennial contender with like 6 MVP guys to this, right? Like they were on top, they were awesome. They had all these guys when I was younger growing up, and
Yep.
then they sucked for about 7 years, and now we're so back. So it's kind of a big deal for us. It's a really big part of our lives. We go to a lot of games.
Chris Illich, if you're listening to this, be thankful for your guys, but don't sit on your laurels this offseason.
Don't need to be so point finger negative. Come on, buddy.
Just making sure he knows.
So
The fans are going to love you if you deliver a championship.
Okay, the Tigers are competitive once again. They sold at the deadline. So let me try to explain this to non-baseball people. So it's like when you have either a veteran or a really, really big asset and you're not good, you usually trade at the deadline. You sell it. It's a bigger deal than it is in other sports.
Yeah, you lose a little bit now to win later in the future.
And your return is usually like prospect. It's usually nothing great. It often doesn't pan out.
Very rarely does your return have, if you're selling, your return has virtually no impact the rest of this season and usually the next season.
So the Tigers were in a position where they sold, meaning they were really far from the playoffs.
Like 4 or 5 guys.
So they traded away at the deadline. And then they lost a couple starting pitchers due to injury and one for trade. And then they started doing these kind of goofy bullpen days. Again, I'm trying to explain. It's like in football, if your quarterback's out and you just kind of go like, okay, we're just going to go read option. We're just going to run the option with like a couple different guys every game.
And then you bring your backup quarterback to do the second quarter and the third quarter. And the fourth quarter, you just kind of wing it.
So basically, the Tigers just kind of like put together pitchers and wins, just like very Moneyball-esque.
Yep.
And they were 12 games back, like I think early August. They were 12 games or so.
8th or something like that.
They're 12 games back from Wildcard. As of right now, they're 1.5 games back.
Right. And they, in that stretch, the 5 or 6 week stretch, the number one team in baseball, and not just our opinion, like that's their record, the best record in baseball.
They've won 24 of their last 34, and the last time the Tigers did that was 2013. And they were awesome in 2013. Meaningful games in late September, like you talked about. And the next up, after meaningful games in late September, is meaningful games in early
October. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. That's, you know what? That's Riley time.
So,
and Carp.
And if the Tigers have a playoff game in Detroit, I'm going for sure. And I think you're radical enough to go. Because I usually, you know what, I'm doing the bit. I wanted to go to the Lions game week 1. Shout out Blake. Blake was texting me like, basically right after the Lions right after the Lions got eliminated in San Francisco, he texted me like a couple days later. He's like, all right, week 1, right, whatever. Not actually. When the schedule came out, I remember him saying, we have to go. And I'm like, okay, maybe. And I was kind of still riding high off of the playoff wins. I'm like, do I need to get back there? And I'm like, I have a great idea. I want to go, but I can't go without him. So what I do is I just put immense pressure on him and say, I can't go if you don't go. So we have to go. Kind of. And like, I'll buy your ticket. I don't really care.
And then
you're going.
Blake and Braden aren't going unless I go too.
Yeah. So
Which
basically,
I think is probably false.
We put like 8. He was dependent on like 8 individuals going to the game. If he said no, then we all would have stayed here. And if he said yes, we all piled up and we went.
I don't know. Ethan can't lie to me. I'm going to put Ethan down in a room by himself, and I'm going to force him to tell the truth. He's going to say, "No, we would have gone without you."
That's actually fake and fraud for many reasons. He's
too nice a guy to lie.
So before he even agreed to go to Lions game, I just bought tickets, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want to go?" Like,
I kind of said, "Okay, maybe." Boom. Like 4 seconds later,
because they dropped a bit. Some standing rooms went up, so we were monitoring it, and it was like, worst case, like I'll just pay for it. I don't really care. We'll pay for it, and we'll just go. Right? It's like, oh, I'll pay for it, and I'll find an online version of a textbook, and it'll kind of even out. Respectfully. Shout out to school.
Yeah.
So we went.
Professors are doing okay.
Yeah, they're fine. They're great people. They're great. I love school. And then we went to the Lions game week 1. It was awesome. And I'm sniffing Monday Night Football versus Seattle. I think I want to go to that one. I don't know if I'll do the same pressure move. I actually might.
No.
Buddy. Monday Night Football, they're wearing the all black uniforms. Holy metal. That's rip. That's all I got. I want to go to Lions games. It's great. So, and we're going to Tiger game. Sorry, this was manic. Tiger game. Playoffs. We have to go.
For sure. That we're doing.
Standing room, hopefully.
Okay.
But that's all.
Okay, fans, thanks for the support. Keep giving us ideas, comments, whatever you like. And
tell them where to contact us and everything. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like YouTube, where you can watch us. We got nice jackets, good hats. Spotify. iTunes. No, Apple Play?
iTunes hasn't been used since 2016.
Yeah, Apple Play. Why do I listen to my podcast? On Apple?
Buddy, Apple Podcasts.
Apple
the purple
Podcasts.
app. Say the purple app.
The purple app.
The black and green app.
Black and green app. Spotify.
Yeah, the YouTube app.
YouTube.
It's a triangle.
Yeah.
And then what's our Instagram? That's the kind of
the truth of TNI.
Okay, good stuff. All right, wrap it up.
Good pictures there. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.